なな聞こえますか？ハローハロー。大丈夫かな？うもりさんこんなな。みんな待機ありがとうね。大丈夫かな？音声。待って。Loud and clear. Alright! No problem. Nice. OK. じゃあ今日はね、What Remains of Edith もう一回。What Remains of Edith Finch 続きをやるね。前回はちょっとやべえことにあったんだけど、今回はきっと大丈夫でしょうね。きっとね。はい、行きましょう。何すぐ怖いよ。あ、そっか。地下室に行くんだよな。じゃあ行くよ。みんな準備いい？おー、結構いいじゃん、この地下室。おー。わー、見て見て、これあれじゃない？みんなの家族の絵が描いてた。木の塊でしょ？いいね、こういうの。
Mom said the basement was off limits, unless I wanted another tetanus shot.
まあそれはそうね。こういう地下室は結構なんか危険なものがいっぱいあるんで、子供にはあんまりちょっと暗いな。近づかない方が。
I saw Edie sneak down to the basement once, carrying packages.
ちょっと待って、あれは？開けるの？
I thought maybe she was hiding presents.
開けるのこれ。これあれじゃない？なんか急に出てくるやつでしょ？前の漫画で。
It turned out she was hiding a lot more than that.
やべえ。真っ暗。何なんか音聞こえるな。うわー、すげえ。なんで人の
I remember asking Mom once about where Walter had gone.
Walter はなるほどね。覚えてる。エディの子、Walter。前バーバラが、漫画でなんかやられたんでしょ？で、ベッドの下に隠してたことも結構生きてたよね。1952から2005年だから43。いや、そんなに生きてなかったか。Scary already? I don't know. Maybe just me scary myself.
She said after Barbara died, he got as far away as he could.
あら、すげえ、何これ、あれ？
If there's a pattern in all these stories, I think it's that none of us has gotten very far.
この主人公自分の母に聞くと、このウォルターというおじさんかな？おじさんはもう遠く、この家から遠く離れたと聞いたんだけど、実はここに住んでいたんではないの
？Goodbye, everyone. I can't believe I've been down here for 30 years.
30年も。
On that first day, after the shaking started, I didn't think I'd survive a week.
何その30年間
But after a few days, I settled into a routine.
30年間ここで
That's what kept me sane.
ここに隠してたんだ。
Having a schedule, living for today.
なんだ？
I
おお。
always expected to be dead tomorrow. But if you wait long enough, you'll be used to anything.
うわー。ピーチかな？
Even a monster on the other side of the door starts to feel normal. Almost friendly.
これあれよ、究極の引きこもりなんです。
And then one day, everything just stopped.
あれ？振動がなくなってる。あ、すげえ、みんな見て。あれはスパイスかな。でも何に使うの？あなたピーチしか食べてないんじゃん。辛いピーチとかカレー味のピーチとか It is same thing every day. そう。他のものって食べてない。
Whatever that thing was, it was gone. Maybe it got tired of waiting. Or maybe I just got tired of being afraid.
あら、ずっと外、化け物がいるんではないかと怯えてて、ここにずっと隠してたんだよな。
It's been a week now, the longest in 30 years.
今日ピーチないの？うわー、何？
I'm done waiting.
あ、外に出るんだ。
I have to leave. While I still can.
ここ？よし！出るぞ！あ、かっけえ。こういうなんか秘密基地みたいな、めっちゃいいよね。うわー、かっこいいな。でも一人ここで
I know it's out there somewhere.
怖いかも。怖いかも。それがどこに向かってる？
Whatever killed Barbara
うわ
and Molly
ー、モーリーとバーボラ
and Calvin.
and Calvin。この3人
Maybe
を
this is all a mistake.
殺してた外の世界
But I need to stop living the same day,
もう消えてたんだ。
even if it kills me.
あ、壁をぶっ壊した。あ、
Whatever's out there, I want you to know I'm ready for it.
おー、すげ
I'm going
え
to。appreciate all of it, especially the food. I don't mind if I only have a year left. Or a month. Or a single week. I'd be happy with one new day. I can already imagine the sun in my face.
ちょっとだから危険だって。
Walter died when I was 6. I can't believe my mom never told me he was down here.
わあ、まあ振動ってあれでしょ？トレイの振動だよな、きっと。
I'm sure my mom was trying to protect me.
わあ、外の世界だけど偽物という感じがね。やはり外に出たいんだね、ウォーターは。そうではないとこういうものは春ではなかったんでしょう。よいしょ。よし、行くよみんな。
Maybe she was afraid I'd end up like Walter.
家こもりか?
But if she never told me about an uncle under the house, I can only imagine what else she was hiding. I don't want to make the same mistakes she made.
ゴミ集まってるところ置かれてる。
Trying to bury something that's still alive.
これ重いな。You really looking some down there. The whole family was upstairs, or am I misunderstanding something? That's correct. He locked himself
Now
under
that there's
the
only one
house.
of us left, or maybe two. I thought it was time I heard the stories for myself and found out what happened to everyone else. But now I'm worried the stories themselves might be the problem. Maybe we believed so much in a family curse, we made it real.
うわ鳥肌がすごいよこれ。ほらほらほら、前なんかほら前そう careful the train.
I don't know
もう
if I
走っ
should
てない
even be writing this.
もう走ってないんだ。レールが見てやられてる。あれでしょ、沈んでた前の屋敷。ここから行くと。
Maybe it'd be better if all this just died with me.
わあ。でもさ、こういう家族の話。
But I thought you should know about your family.
誰と話してるんだ。
And the history you're a part of.
インディアンっぽく。すごい、ほらまだなんか赤いなんか明かりが、明かりじゃない、光だめっちゃ綺麗じゃん。ここかな、屋敷。
Though to be honest, I feel as lost as you probably do right now.
屋敷があそこに死んで、でエディ、おばあちゃんのこのオディンとインゲボルクが、まあ、船乗ってここに来て、まあ、あとはまた赤ちゃんでしたエディがね。
I think the people in these stories believed them, for what that's worth.
そうだね。ウォルターは、まあ、自分のお姉さんたちは化け物に殺されたと信じてで自分をロックしたんでしょう。
And when you look at the house, that history of imagination and stubbornness and madness, any of it seems possible.
だってあの屋敷の中に一つ一つの部屋は自分の物語があるということでしょ。ちょっと待って、私ラグしてる？ラグしてんね。ちょい待ちな。ごめんね。そうしないと私のパソコン死ぬんで。大丈夫かな。わあ、ちょっとやっぱりさあるね。画質クオリティが。今どこに行く方がいい？ここ？あっち？
I think we've been surrounded by death for so long, we've just gotten used to it.
まあそうだよね。
What kind of family finishes building a cemetery before starting the house?
だってこの家族 この、みんなが
It's embarrassing for me to admit this, but the pet cemetery made me more uncomfortable than the human one.
ここは全部ペット。めっちゃ死ん
3
で
of
る
the
じゃん、ペ
gerbils
ッ
were mine,
ト。
and 2 had been my fault.
砂ネズミの13匹は私ので。あー、こっちの全部ペット。フォーピー。これ全部なんかエディの鳥でしょ。シャドウという猫があったんだ。ザツキは何だろうね。クリストファー。ボー。オリバー。ミサキちゃんだ。カエル？ちょっとネフタが見えない。ベイリー。ジョイ、ココ、チャッカー。
Sven built the house, but it was Edie who designed the cemetery.
なるほど。エディが、おばあちゃんが設計したんだね、屋敷。あ、いたモリー。うわー、見て。モリーは、ウィングスで日本語なんでたっけ？幅入ってる。これはもう猫だけを記念するだけではなく、ちゃんとモリーという女の子も記念してるんでしょうね。あ、ここが嘘だ。キャビンの墓もここなの？ほら、うじうじになりたかったんでしょ。あ、ここはまあエディも亡くなっちゃったんだよな。エディ結構93歳か。すごいな。一番なんか家族の中に一番仲良きしてたんだよな、エディが。あとスベンだね。家を作ってたおじいさん。最後あれでしょ？庭でドラゴンのスライドを作った途中で事故で死んでしまったんでしょ。こっちがワルター。こっちはバーバラ。そうスターなんだね、バーバラは。
I'm sure Odin's monument had been Edie's idea. My mom was always trying to move on, but for Edie, the past never went away.
これが沈んでた屋敷。
She could see it poking out of the water at low tide.
家族の一切の始まりでしょ。ここは
Edie's side was always easier for me to understand.
赤ちゃんがイディでしょ。あ、ちょっと待って。あれ？あ、それともこれあれ？これがイディだっけ？忘れてしまった。このひいおじいさんはもう屋敷と一緒にいたかな。あんまりよく見えないな。ちょっと待って、もう一回。いける？あ、いけた。
Edie said she dreamed about the old house every night.
見て、沈んでた屋敷。じゃあ多分こっちがオディン、こっちがスベンとエディかな。でこちらはまだ最初の赤ちゃんだよ。あ、ここに墓あるんだけど。
But the older I get, the more I can see where my mom was coming from.
Sen
Her dad had been pretty strict, but it wasn't enough to save her brothers. She was just trying to do better.
Georgie, Sam, Gus. ここね、Gus。あ、Gregory。ジョージじゃなかった。Gregory。そっか。あと Sam だね。Sam が生き延びて、ケイと結婚して、ドン、ガスとグレゴリー。3つの子があったということ。で、このドンは多分今の主人公の母ということですよね。
She lost 2 of her brothers, just like I did. I get why she tried so hard to protect us.
ここはミュートン。あー、見て。ブラッシュ握ってる。
We never found Milton's body, so my mom insisted we were putting up a monument, not a tombstone.
なるほどね。まだ生きている可能性があると。サンジはお父さんかな。ルイス。あ。
There's so many things I wish I could ask my mom now. Part of me thinks this is what she wanted all along. For me to come back someday and find everything out for myself.
すごいな。いやー。自分の家族は。
But looking back on it now,
トリーハウスでしょ。森か一回ここに飛んできたんでしょ。
if she told me there was going to be so much climbing, I never would have come when I was 22 weeks pregnant.
え？主人公妊娠してんの？うわ、危ない。大丈夫かな？オッケー。ほんとだ、お腹が出てる。きついでなかった。見てみんな。お腹出てる。ここになんか
I never met Grandpa Sam, but I think he and my mom had a lot in common.
セム、生き延びたセムだよね。パイレット。おお、ちょっと待って。びっくりした。
They were both pretty intense.
真面目だな。あ、ハンターか、セムは。わ、かっけー。すごっ。かっこいいな。いや軍人になったよな。多分ほらあのネックレスがあるし、この帽子もね、ちゃんと自分の夢を叶えたよな。自撮りしてる。かわいい。
Dawn, I promise you'll never forget this weekend.
Yes, sir.
These memories are gonna last a lifetime. Perfect.
Am I gonna have to shoot anything? It's gonna rain the whole weekend, isn't it?
ああ、娘を連れてハンティングに。
I will never forget this weekend, Dad.
That's the spirit.
よし。じゃあ届い
Okay,
たよ。
got it.
I'm gonna take some pictures, okay?
Just be careful. The camera's older than you are.
何を撮ればいいんだ。あ
I
ら
should not have drunk all that coffee.
あらパシャッと。
You're right.
Hey!
That's the keeper.
I'm just saying, I'm not always gonna be here, Don. You'll need to remember this stuff, if you want to survive.
I'll be fine, Dad.
You know who else thought he was gonna be fine?
Some guy who died.
Don, I'm being serious.
I know, Dad. You're always serious. Doesn't being out here make you want to chill out?
Well, to tell you the truth, I haven't been out here in 20 years. Last time I was with my brother Calvin. Man, that was a great trip. Your grandpa Sven taught us how to fish, how to build a fire. Don, don't you think you could find something more interesting to photograph? We found an old logging trail. There were deer everywhere.
家に帰りたい。
I bet if I could remember where that trail was, we'd spot a buck for you in no time. Give me a minute to check the map.
Dad!
Good eyes, Don. Before you take the shot, let me get a picture of you.
打つの
Dad, I...
Just breathe. Turn off your imagination. Let me get behind you.
Do I have to do this?
Don, you don't have to do anything. But if you want to survive, you'll need to be strong.
いくよ。多分押す瞬間で発砲する歌と。
Keep yourself squared up. Now, great shot, Don!
うわ。バカ野郎。バカ野郎この父さん。バカ野郎。見てよ、泣いてるんだよ、娘が。バカ。ちょっと。
I'm proud of you, Don. Always remember that, okay?
最悪だよこれ。あ、え
Sorry, Don. Just gotta reset the timer.
オッケー、走れ走れ。
Dad, it's twitching. I think
That's
it's
totally normal, Don. Just focus on the camera.
Is it
Try
really
not to
normal?
think about-
Dad! あ。
Of all these stories, that's the one I wish most that my mom had told me.
そうか。自分の目の前で父さんが死んでしまったよな。家に帰りてー。
Sam spent his life shooting photos, but Mom said he got nervous being in front of the camera. I guess we're all afraid of something.
あれでしょGregory, Gus, and John。まず真ん中は Don かな。どっちが Gregory、どっちが Gus かな。もうちょっと見ようか。
Instead of hiding from death, Sam seemed to go out of his way to meet it.
ああ、軍人だしね。ああ。うお。あ、見て。あれでしょ、赤ちゃんの。かわいい。あ、なにこの猫かわいいな。あ、椅子か。かわいい。ペットでしょ。おお。ケイのものなの？オッケー、行こう。 は何これ。どうなってんだ。うわー、秘密通路。
After Sam died, my mom and Edie got really close. They'd both lost a lot.
ああ、そうなるんだよな。あ、赤ちゃんの部屋だ。あ、グレゴリーまた赤ちゃんか。じゃあさっきの赤ちゃんはグレゴリーだな。あら、もしかして。ああ、なるほど。ドンはお姉さんか。妹だと思ってた。お姉さんでお兄さん、弟かな。うわ、グレゴリー1歳で亡くなってしまったの。うわー、divorce contract。あ、離婚の。
Dear Kay, do you remember the way Gregory used to laugh when he thought he was alone? Like something funny was happening, but only he could see it. I think he saw things the others don't.
泳いでんね。あ、ちょっと待って。コントロールできる。
Watching over Gregory, it's time to.
あ、
Hold on, sweetie.
パーティー再開だ。
Sam, I told you I don't want to talk right now.
あら、喧嘩してるね。あ、
I wonder what he saw.
あ、ジャンプできる。ちょっと待って。
What his world was like.
あ、おいしい。おいしょ。おほー。よーしよしよしよしよし。あ、かわいい。ハローハ
He reminded me so much of Calvin,
ロー。一緒に踊ろうじゃないか。よし。
lost in his
だ
imagination.
だだだだ。
Whatever it was, he saw.
あ、一緒に泳いでみませんか。かわいい。だだだだ。ウィー。あ、目動いてた。ちょっと待って。一緒に遊ば
Sure
ない。
made him happy.
だだだだだだだ。私も赤ちゃんのところこんな感じで物事を見てたかな。ウィー、おー、一回ここにジャンプして。あ、そう。そう、ちょっと待って。よいしょ。ほい。あー、難しいな、意外と。よいしょ。
I know
よ
this.
ーし。10点。満点だ。
I worried about a baby being too happy,
赤ちゃんはもう。
but I could feel her slipping away.
Sorry about that, Gregory.
何？
I know you did everything you could.
ちょっと。ちょっと。
Maybe if I hadn't called that night.
ちょっと。
Hold on, I don't want Gregory to hear this.
ちょっとお母さん。ちょっとお母さん。あ、へへ。よいしょ。よいしょ。おいー。あ、くそ。もう一回。
about the world he saw.
あ、ちょっと待って、ちょっと待って、ちょっと待って、もういい、もういい、もういい。うわ、やば。え、
There's
嘘。
so much I don't understand about Gregory. About everything.
カエルになっちゃった。おお。あ、いたいた、クジラさん。みんな。
But I know what happened wasn't your fault.
見せてこうなったんじゃない。うわー。なんかめっちゃ楽しい。幸せだ。めっちゃなん
I
か。
want you to be happy too. Good luck, Kay. Love, Sam.
めっちゃ楽しいシーンだったけど、実際はそうではなかったよね。1歳で亡くなったよな。グレゴリー。ここは姉さんのベッドなんだけども、なんもない。
I can't imagine my mom ever writing poetry, and yet
ガスは1969年から1982年だから13歳。ガスに捧げる。
A poem for Gus, who always said the wedding was a bad idea. Our father never hit us kids, at least not very hard, before the day my brother said with teenage disregard that he'd be dead before he'd see a wedding in our yard.
よいしょ。ウェディングなんて最低だ。野獣死ねえ。よいしょ。
My father made him come, of course, but Gus stood far apart, just flew his kite and bottled up the storm inside his heart.
ウィーウィー。
I tried to talk him out of it, but though he'd never met her, we don't need a stepmom were the words that I used.
ああ、なるほどね。サムとケイは離婚してたらもう一回結婚したんだよな。他になんかある？あ、いた。かっけえな。前はこんな感じだったの？うわー。
When the time for photos came, Dad ordered him to come here. But Gus declined and as a sign held up his middle finger.
あー、みんな見ちゃダメ、見ちゃダメ。
The wind picked up and panicked geese appeared and quickly went. But all the humans did that day was go inside the tent.
まあ風だけだから、あらもう風だけじゃないわ。やば。
Rain came down in buckets then, but no one seemed afraid that nature might destroy the tent our dad had crudely made.
うわー、あれですか？台風ですか？うわー。
The thunder sounded much too close and full of angry power. But all my father said to this was, "Make the music louder."
Make the music louder! やべえなこれ。雨だけでもやべえな。これでしょ？みんなが休憩してた程度。わー！うわやべえ。
I wish that I could truly say I thought about you on that day. Out there on the beach alone, just you, the wind, the sea, and foam.
うわ
But I didn't. Until we found you.
She never talked about him, but Mom told me once if I was a boy, they were going to name me Gus.
みんながパーティーしてて、彼は一人で外で遊んでた結果、悔しいよなこれ。きっと悔しいに決まってる。
My mom moved up to the loft after her brothers died. At the time, it was as far away as she could get.
わあわあわあ、あんな妊娠してるんでしょ？大丈夫これ。ああ、ここに引っ越したということで。Holy Bible。わあ。
She spent a summer building houses in Calcutta, where she met my dad, Sanjay.
かっこいいこれ。Fly to India。かっこいいな。こういうの欲しいな。うちはね、子供が多いんで。ちっちゃい頃は自分の部屋がなかったんだよ。これはかっこいいわ。
Religion was another thing my mom never talked about, but I think it helped her a lot after her dad died.
わあ、こういうのかっこいいんだけど、また下に来てしまいました。もう一回。よしと、よしよしよっしゃよっしゃよっしゃよっしゃよっしゃ。毎回自分の部屋に来るのはあれ通らなきゃいけないというのは、まあちょっと。
My mom moved to India a week after graduation and got a job teaching English.
直接にインドに引っ越したんだろうな。どう？どうやって書けばいいなこれ。どうやって？ああ。
Lewis was born a year later.
ルイスはお兄さんね。わあ、いい景色だここ。すごい。あ、まだ上に行ける。
When my dad died, I don't think Mom knew where else to go. I'm sure Edie was happy to have her back and to see kids in the house again.
ほら、なんかばあちゃん一人で、あ、ばあちゃんだった？そう、あ、すげえ。え、ちょっと待って。おばあちゃんだけではなく、ひいおばあちゃんだよ。うわー。まあ、ばあちゃんなんか寂しくて家に自分に行って、ようやく。
The house had to get a little bigger, but Edie was used to that.
ようやく孫が帰るのがきっと嬉しいよね。おばあちゃんに会いたい。くそ。
And for a while, things were good. Almost normal.
教室みたいな感じだね。
But it didn't last.
どうしたの？Gus, Auden, Molly, Sam, Calvin, Barbara, Gregory.
The beginning of the end was Milton's 10th birthday, when Edie gave him a castle.
これ？まあ、危ないんだけどかっこいいな。見てもいい？
After Milton disappeared, the only thing he left behind was a room full of paintings.
入れる？よしと。あ、みんな見てかわいい。かっこいい。見て、これペット？わあ。
I think Edie was happy to finally have another painter in the family.
わあ、結構才能があるんじゃん。もう前もいっぱいな絵を見たんだけど、この子のこれで下に行けるの。あ、上か。うわー、見たんだ。魔法の鉛筆。
Milton Finch in The Magic Paintbrush.
Achoo! かっこよすぎ。ちょっと待って、これ。うわー。ベッドを開けると、ありがとうございます。こんな感じで消えたんだね、ミルトン。
I was 4 when Milton
I
disappeared.
can't imagine if they're right. まあ大丈夫っしょ。ちょっとあっちこっち多分漏れちゃうんだけどまあでも雨降ってもね、ここだと綺麗な景色が見えるんではないか。こっちってちゃんと書いてる書いてるよか。
Mom spent months searching for my brother. Then she sealed the doors. Whatever Milton had found in the house, Mom didn't want it getting out.
いえ、ミルトンは魔法のペンで魔法の扉を書いて魔法の国に行ったんですよ。あ、上に行けるということね。
Mom definitely blamed Edie, but I think Lewis blamed himself.
ルイスがここに住んでたの？いやー、まあもし雨が降ったらここやばいよな。
After he graduated, he just spent more and more time in his room
ここ？
until Mom got him a job at the cannery.
あら、ここはルイスの部屋だね。
Everyone always told me to stay out
Wow.
of Lewis's room, except Lewis.
自分の部屋じゃいいんでしょ。いいって言われたらすごい船で改造されてるんじゃん。わあ、これかっけー。わあ、いやー景色いいなー。満月、まだ満月。ここから入る。入ると。あら、ちょっとなんかインド。
Lewis's room smelled very, very familiar. That part of him lived on.
インド風の ちょっと待って、吸ってたの？ほらダメじゃん。いやー吸ってた。やべえな。Bruce Finch Locker Contents Thunderbox 工場に残されたものかこれあれじゃない？ヨガで使うボールじゃん。これですごい、みんな見て、モニター2つだよゲーマーだこいつ、ゲーマーだ。 I remember someone died on swing。 この人Calvin 宇宙人になりたかった Calvin。 何この。
Dear Mrs. Finch, as Lewis's psychiatrist, I can understand your desire for an explanation. As I see it, the trouble began in January, shortly after we convinced your son to seek treatment for substance abuse. Newly sober, I believe Lewis first noticed the monotony of his daily life.
おー、やべえ。なるほどね。
He kept working at the cannery,
ちょっと待って。
but he withdrew part of himself. In our sessions, I saw the same behavior.
おいしょ。
His mind began to
わあ。I want to watch your stream play game 買っちゃえ。何意識がよく
wander.
あ、え、歩ける。なるほどね。
I asked him to describe it.
あ、じゃあ
He said he started small,
じゃあ
imagining a labyrinth.
これだよ。私仕事してる時こんな感じだよ違う、こっちじゃない。
Then something moved,
Something moved.
bats,
Bats?
and
Woohoo!
toads.
着替える。自分の世界に行ったのよ。わー、かっけ
And
ー。
things that have not names.
名のないものた
He knew it was all in his head.
ち。わー、ここまで魚かい。ちなみにさ、私、右手のマウスで仕事してて、左で動いてる。
But he took it very seriously.
頭の中の
I had hoped he'd find himself.
あ、レッドカーペット。
But he found something more.
わあ、ミッションカンプリート？わあ、すごい。
I worried about him then,
なんかちょっと 3D になって
daydreaming
た。
at the cannery. I spoke with his boss,
ちょっと危ないな。
but he said Lewis had become a model employee. Methodical, tireless, focused,
フォーカスちゃんと集中してないな。
like a whole new Lewis.
Whole new Lewis。
So I let him go on.
うわあ。もうこれ結構危険だよな、この。
I even encouraged him.
うわあ。ちょっと
It seemed very promising at first.
頭の世界がどんどん広がってるよ。
He told me he'd made a new friend.
あ、新しい友達。ハローハロー。テントがある。セーフポイントかな。
On the edge of a city he named Lewis Topia.
上下。
He built the city up slowly, brick by brick.
ダンダダンダダンダン。
Then he made musicians.
みんな私のこと歓迎してる。
and songs for them to play.
こんにちはみんな。よっほー。盛り上が
talked about starting a band,
盛り上がってますかみんな。
and he was always humming something.
手を開けてください。
Every day his imagination grew stronger.
おお
He no longer spoke at the cannery,
祭りだ。
but his chopping was as reliable as ever. Then one day it struck him that all the cheering crowds, even the stones under his feet,
あ
were all in his imagination,
そんなわ
so
け
he
な
could
い。
do whatever he wished.
あ、なるほど。ほら
He held an election for mayor, and he won.
いやー、一緒になったよ。このなんだっけ、ルイストピア。
They begged him to stay, but his mind was already wandering.
いや、私冒険に
It
行くよ。
became a game for him.
わあ、めっちゃ
To
広がってん
conquer a city, then
な。
immediately push on.
空上はもうあんまり。
New Lewis.
おお。ニュールイス。これは
St. Louis.
ああ、セントルイスだ。はい。
He started drifting away from our reality.
魚なんてこれもう現実じゃない。左のこれの方が現実だ。ちょっと待って。
Minneapolis.
ミニアプルイス。
Until one day he forgot to go home from the cannery.
あ、やべえ。
Even as his mother pleaded with him, part of Lewis kept sailing on.
あ。よいしょ。よいしょ。よいしょ。次の町に
In
行くぞ。
Lewisburg, he heard rumors of a
あ、ルーバーオファ美しい王子。
beautiful prince.
おほう。うわー。
The prince was on his own quest for
For rainbow.
radiant rainbows.
虹を探す。よーし。うわー。あ、ちょっとくそ。くそ。ほら。公開こそ。くそ。あー、ダメだった。
He followed the sound of
よ
his
し。タラララー。これ欲しい。銀のハープ。
silver harp.
おお。あー、くそ、最後のノートだ。
His chase led him to a golden palace east of the sun and west of the moon. Even then, his logic remained sound.
まだロジックあるんだよな。ちょっともうナイフがもう見えないんだけど。
He knew the world was all in his imagination.
これは全部イマジネーションだけど、私の世界だこれは。
But he was so proud of having created it.
そう、私の世界だよこれは。
In his own eyes, he'd become something greater than a king.
英雄だよ私、英雄だ。
For someone who'd never known success in the real world, I think it was overwhelming. And then it struck him that the real Lewis was not the one chopping salmon,
そう
but the one climbing the steps of a golden palace.
そう、この頭の中の私こそ真のルイスだ。まだ楽して
My
るやべ。
imagination is as real as my body, he told me. It was hard to argue with him.
おい。よい。
began to forget the world we know.
これは包丁なんかじゃない。これは私の彼氏だ。
I think it pained him to remember Lewis, the cannery worker.
あれか？あれがルイス。
He began to despise the man with a royal contempt.
でも自分じゃん。ほらもうやってない。彼もうやってないんだ。ほら。あれは本物のルイスじゃない。今上に登っている。
I still thought I could save him.
私こそ。
Even after he said he was being crowned king over all the lands of wonder. The palace would be packed with his companions.
ありがとう。みんなありがとう。みんなありがとう。ありがとうね。
Including the wise Calico who'd insisted on inviting him.
すげえ。うわー、モリだモリだ。うわー、私を歓迎してる。みんなありがとう。ありがとうね。よしよしよし。よいこと。
His prince waited, holding his crown.
王子、私のことを待ってる。音楽も大き
There
く
was
なっ
only
て
one
ない。
thing left to do.
私はこの世界の王。うわーそう来
Bend
るか。
down his head.
そう来るか。私は王になる。
And the rest I think you know. Mrs. Finch, your son was a kind man who will be missed by all of us who knew him.
My brother was really cool. I wish you could have met him.
なるほどね。頭の中の世界にとらわれて。
Lewis and I spent a lot of time playing games together, but he was surprisingly bad at them. He died a lot.
どうやって出るんだ？ここ。
On the way back from Lewis's funeral, my mom told me to start packing.
この屋敷から出る。
She waited until the day before we left to tell Edie. I'm not sure if she wanted to make it easier or harder. I wish we'd stayed.
ああ、ミルトンのチラシ。パッケージ用の。
But I understand why we left. My mom ended up leaving everything behind.
結局なの。ああ。
What happened that night had been coming for a long time. Maybe it should have come sooner. But it had to end one way or another. All that's left now is to tell you about that last night.
エディス私の部屋だ
That whole last day, Edie just watched us pack and didn't say a word. Until supper, when she raised her glass and said,
To our final night together, and all our final nights apart.
Grandma, you know what I said about alcohol. Some of your medications are very
Edith,
specific.
I left a present for you in the hallway. Why don't you go open it? The grown-ups have to argue now.
I'm sorry, you're right. We're all leaving tomorrow. Let's just enjoy our last...
I'm not leaving.
Edith, you're excused.
ひいおばあちゃん行かないの
The power had been shut off that morning, but Edie always had plenty of candles. When my mom sealed the library, I don't think she knew about the other entrance. Or that Edie had a key to it.
あらららら入れるんですよ実は
That thing you're afraid of isn't going to end when you leave the house.
運命はね 屋敷から出ても
Edith has a right to know these stories.
My children are dead because of your stories. I think it's best if Edith and I leave tonight.
違うの違う
We'll have the nursing home send a van for you in the morning. Okay?
え本当に一緒にないんだ かわいい
Dear Edith, there's so many stories I wish I could tell you, but there's only time for one. This is about what happened on the night you were born. That night, the tide went way, way out. It was the first and last time I ever saw the old house aground. There'd been an earthquake out in the middle of the ocean. They called it the lowest tide in 1,000 years. God, it smelled awful. You know, I've seen that house every day of my life.
昔の屋敷に
But I never thought I'd go back to it. When the fog rolled in, I lost my way.
あまっすぐでいいかな
I got turned around.
あえ このままでいいか
For a while, I wandered. I started seeing things.
みんなちょっと待ってラックしてるラックしてた
things I'd forgotten had ever existed.
うわ、戻った。
But when I saw them, they felt like old friends.
戻ったな。
That night, a lot of things came back to me.
うわ、見て、この家具。カビネット、机。
Or maybe I came back to them.
フェンスもある。
Things I can't explain, but that I need you to try and...
Edith, what are you doing in here?
It's mine.
Edith!
ちょっと。
Mom, you're gonna rip it. Let go.
ちょっと。母さん。何するんだよ。
I kicked and screamed, but Mom dragged me to the car. I never saw Great Grandma Edie again. The next morning, the van came to pick her up, but she was already gone. After that, we moved around a lot. We both tried to make the best of it. A few years went by. My mom didn't like to talk about it, but she started getting sick a lot. The rest happened pretty quickly.
あ、お母さん。
She got better for a while, and then she didn't. And then I was alone. The last Finch left alive. Until I found out about you. I'm still not sure what to tell you about all this. If we lived forever, maybe we'd have time to understand things. But as it is, I think the best we can do is try to open our eyes. And appreciate how strange and brief all of this is.
ここどこ？
This journal was supposed to be for you. But now I hope you'll never see it.
あ、私は君と
I
い
just
う
want to
の
meet
は
you and tell you all these stories myself.
主人公の赤ちゃんか、私たちという
But I
か。
guess if you're reading this now, things didn't work out that way.
出る。世界を見たい。
This is where your story begins. I'm sorry I won't be there to see it. It's a lot to ask, but I don't want you to be sad that I'm gone. I want you to be amazed that any of us ever had a chance to be here at all. Good luck.
ああ。主戦した時に亡くなったかも。あーいいゲームだった。あ、風呂入ってる。やばい、ダメだよ。出て。まあいいか。タブではないんだから。あ、ルイスの部屋の中にあった看板だ。あと、 あの戦士の人形がミルトン。ちょっと待って、鼻水が鼻水がこれ見たらさ、これ遊んでたからさ、家族は会いたくなってきたな。あ、あれでしょ、上に登れるやつ。あとあれ、タンブの中にあったちっちゃいおもちゃ。あ、クジラさんだ。あとサムじいさんのあれだって、あ、バーバラのモンスターのお面となんかそう、まあリプレイでも見ててすごくいいだからあれ森のお面だよな。あ、ピーチ見て、ピーチの缶だ。あとバーバラのスケート、あとスベンのヘルメット、エディの鳥がこういいゲームだった。あ、見て、あの箱中華が葬式のあの写真今から見ると悲しいよな。いいゲームだったんでしょみんな。わあ泣くとは思わなかったわ。Finished! イエーイほら、エディかわいい。エディがwhat the game description is. Go ahead. Like in the middle, I think it kind of lagged because like the quality went up too high and my PC couldn't afford it. So I, turned it down in the middle. Hope it's alright for the replay. Go ahead, watch it. It's really good. You're gonna hear my stopping a lot. このオディンは、最初のオディンはとりあえずこの一族の話でした。みんなが と死んでたと。最初のオディンはスイデンかな、スイデンから来た時途中でね屋敷と一緒に沈んでて亡くなってしまった。セムは娘と一緒にハンティングに出た時に落下し、カービンはスインでしたっけ、空にいて、実際に飛んでたわ。バーバラは、バーバラもモリもなんていうか怪物に殺されたという話なんだけど、実際はどうなるか知らないよな。ストーリーは、モンスターということでモンスターとして信じましょう。ウォーターはモンスター、なんか自分の姉妹を殺してたモンスターを怯えてて隠してた。最後一回部屋から出た時はトレインで、グレイコリーはこのお母さんが喧嘩中で気づかないうちに風呂の中でね、ガスは台風の日に外で遊んでたらやられた。ダンはやばいよね。ルイスは仕事だからなんか自分の世界にいてしまったんで事故かな、多分事故だと思う。ミルトンは知らない、多分未知の世界に行ったんじゃないの。で最後はエディス。エディスは多分出産のところに亡くなったんだろうな。いいストーリーでした。めっちゃ好き。今めっちゃ自分のばあちゃんに会いたいな。実際に1年以上会ってないんだから家に帰りたい。思ったより短かったね。もうちょっと続くかなと思ったんだけど、いやもし前回ちゃんと4時間の配信をしてたら多分1回で終わるんだよなこれ。ほら今でも1時半くらいだけ遊んでたんだよ。9時からでしょ。9時からの配信で今は10時24分だから1時半プラス1時半3時間で終わるゲームだから、みんなねぜひ興味があったらね3時間だけのゲームだから、もし興味があったらぜひ自分もやってみてください。家族大事ね。じゃあ配信はこれで終わっちゃうよ。来週の配信についてちょっと話しようかな。ちょっと待ってね、一回切ろうか。一回楽しかった。いいゲームだった。めっちゃ好き。ちょっと BGM こんな感じかな。 OK。 じゃあ来週の予定について話すんだけど、次の配信は月曜日になります。月曜日多分またあれやるんだよ。 ペーパープリース。3回目のペーパープリースやります。で、木曜日はホローナイト。金曜はリトルナイトメアやります。はい。ママ、もし見てたらね、あんたのせいだよ、あんたのせい。まあ、約束は約束なんで、来週の金曜日は、リトルナイトメアをやりますよ。ちゃんとブランケットを用意してね。私も用意しとく。リトルナイトメア、そう。そう、自分のブランケットをちゃんと用意して一緒にやろうね。ちょっとやっぱりこういうのはね、自分一人でやるのがめっちゃ怖いんだけど、みんなと一緒だったら大丈夫だよね。ねえみんなついてきな。まあでは配信はこんな感じで終わらせます。まあ予定よりはちょっと早かったんだけどね。今日もなんか10日待ってないかなと思ったんだけど、まあ思ってたより短かったんで、ここで配信を終わらせたいと思います。みんなお疲れ様でした。では冒険者の皆さん、良い旅を。バイバーイ、またねー。よいしょっと。